gotta be.
You are so poor excuse as a fisherman.
No, there really isn't.
Should we, like, what are we actually gonna film? Oh, it's your rod right now, big dog.
I don't know. That's what
A lot of times I get in the water, I'm just like so caught up in catching fish that I really don't want to
I feel
film
like
it.
we actually come up with really good ideas the night before, and then we absolutely do not execute them at all.
No, we don't do any of them. We just
we get out and start catching fish, and oh, hey, we should probably get the camera rolling.
Yeah, that's a fish, dude.
That is, see, I know.
What the hell are you doing back there, big dog?
Dude,
What do people actually want to watch?
it's just doing in slow motion.
Slow motion, like a 30-minute film of one fish catch? I don't know about wait, dude.
Body fat, that was another fish, dude. This is ridiculous.
I'd write like, well, what do people want to see? They
I don't know. What do people want to see? Why are you asking me what do people want to see? I don't know.
Do they want to see?
I would think so.
Information.
What do you watch? Okay, so what do you watch a video for, right?
When I watch a video, I want straight information, but a lot of people get extremely bored with a lot of information.
Right. So you do a good combination of both. Mix in both. Some informational catches.
Yeah. We're back. These kind folk have been kind enough to push a slip through the ice for us. And it looks like a lot of it blew in yesterday. We had a pretty big northeast wind. Yesterday, the water was ridiculously cold. It's still ridiculously cold, but it's actually going to be warm today, so it should actually warm up a little bit. As long as we can get out of here. Here, hooked up on another one. Starting to come together a little bit for us here. I'll grab him. Definitely going the right direction.
Nice fish.
There he is. He hit that thing pretty good. This is the first time I've had to actually thump it on the way down today. But things are starting to come together. We struggled yesterday. That was a rough go at it yesterday. Everything was cold out, but it doesn't take much, you know. When you have everything the same temperature, you get a couple of pockets that are, you know, a degree or 2 degrees warmer. There will be fish in them. It's just a matter of how concentrated they are. All right, we're gonna get that guy back, get after it. We're getting fish every single drift now, which is good. That's what we like to see. See you later, buddy. Back to more. Alright, we're going to talk about side imaging real quick. Side imaging plays a huge role in what we do out here. How we find fish, how we stay on fish, how we follow them throughout the day, all that good stuff. A lot of what we're fishing out here in Green Bay is just giant sand flats. There's some small structural characteristics, bottom transitions, and depth variation, but for the most part, big sand flat, you know, 12 feet and shallower. So fish show up extremely easily on side imaging in this kind of environment. So a lot of times to get the best setting, to get the best image out of my side imaging, I'll turn my range to 50 feet side to side, and so I'm looking at 100 feet of water at a time from the center of my boat, 50 feet one way, 50 feet the other way. And this is where I get my best images. Now a lot of times, and this only takes time on the water, but deciphering what's walleyes and what's like something like a sucker or a whitefish or a rough fish, something like that, takes a little bit of time. Typically your suckers and other rough fish, they're going to school up very tightly. Walleyes are going to be a little bit more scattered. They might pair up, but they're a little bit more scattered throughout a spot. And when we see a spot where we're marking multiple fish at a time on side imaging through a large area, we'll typically use side imaging to find us an area that has more walleyes, number one. Once we're in these areas, we'll set up a long extended drift. And as I'm drifting, one thing I do is I always leave my side imaging screen on. And I'll kind of watch, like when we start the drift, we're in fish, and I'll see a couple fish popping up on the side imaging here and there. And if we go like 50 yards, 100 yards where we don't mark a fish, then I pick up and go right back to the start. So that's where a lot of guys skip out, is a lot of guys will just use it to get on a school, and they won't really use it to follow that school around. So you can really use side imaging to stay on fish constantly throughout the day, and it is an absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle out here in the bay.
Holy.
Was that a fish there, big dog?
Hey, dude. I didn't think it was at first, but partner had one, guys.
What do people want to watch?
Depends on the person.
We got to do like a super informational one, because people have been asking for those. Well, I saw the sword coming up.
Oh, hooked up. Some want to see some straight hogs being lifted in the boat, and some people want information. The guys that probably want to get better want to hear some information.
Hooked up. A little better one here. He absolutely choked it.
Nice fish.
And a nice one there. Getting a little longer. Mitch had a variation of purple on. That one's been chewed up hundreds of times, but leave a fish right there. It is an absolutely ridiculous nice day out here. There he goes. Alright, we've been asked a couple of times, only a couple of times though, how to work a Rapala Rip and Wrap. These are absolutely phenomenal spring walleye lures. Really walleye lure anytime of year. Very versatile bait, pike, bass, smallmouth, large, I mean everything bites these things. Very versatile lure, an absolute killer out here on Green Bay in the spring. What I'm rigging this on is a St. Croix 6/8 medium extra fast. This is a Mojo bass line, Mojo bass rod St. Croix makes. Great walleye rod for a little bit heavier jigs. When I'm fishing this bait, I'm not going to take it and just make a ridiculously long cast. If that bait's an extremely long ways out there and I go to pull it up in shallow water, my angle is so minimal on that bait that it's more so just skipping it across the bottom versus actually getting that bait to hop. So what I like to do, what you notice if you do make really long casts is that a lot of your bites come in the second half, the close half of the retrieve. So decent cast out there, wait till I'm on bottom. Tighten my line up, know when I'm on bottom. All I'm doing is bringing my rod from like 9 o'clock right up to about 11. Once it hits bottom, pop it back up again, keep my rod high till that bait hits bottom, reel down, do it again and again and again. Once you get the cadence down, everything becomes much quicker. A lot of times if you're fishing all the same depth, you don't even have to wait for it to hit bottom. You just kind of get the cadence down, you know when it hits bottom. You just keep working the bait. Now your bites come one of two ways when you're fishing like this. We have a terrible sun angle.
Good.
Alright. Now your bites come one of two ways when you're fishing this way. A lot of times once the water warms up a little bit and the fish get a little bit more aggressive, what you see happen is you'll pop the bait up and that bait's gonna go, your line's just gonna thump, just like a jig bite. Then you rear back, obviously set the hook. A lot of times those are your post-spawn fish that hit it that way, or if fish are very aggressive, they hit the bait on the fall. That's when you feel that line jump. The other way you have fish bite, you'll pull the bait up, the bait will hit bottom, you'll go to pull it up again, and there's weight on there. It's a very much a reaction bite, and a lot of times these fish will just pin it to bottom, and when you go to set the hook again, or to pop the jig up, or pop the bait up again, that's when that weight's on there. And that's why you don't want to end up right here with your stroke, because if you end up right here with your stroke, you end up setting the hook like that, not a whole lot happens. That's why you kind of end that thing at about 11 o'clock right there, give yourself a little bit of room to set the hook if you feel that fish on the way up. So one thing that might seem really simple is just knowing when you're on bottom, right? This goes for all jig fishing. Whether you jig fish your entire life and you're very confident in it, not everybody's as comfortable with knowing when they're on bottom. And fishing every day, fishing with a lot of different people, I see people kind of struggle with this sometimes. So when you pop that bait up, your line's gonna be very tight. Then all of a sudden it's gonna get a big bow in it. That's right when you're on bottom. When that line goes slack, you're on bottom. When I see people pop jig, one mistake I see people make is they rip the bait so hard sometimes that it creates slack in your line. You don't want to slingshot that bait. It's a consistent pull, your line stays tight the entire time, it hits bottom and the line bows out. If you're fishing in a lot of wind and it's taking your line like that, same principle applies, you're just gonna have more slack in it the whole time. Your line's gonna bow up like this, you're gonna hit bottom, and it's gonna kind of give way into the wind. So that's a couple ways if you're on bottom, you can do it. If it's calm like this out, you can do it by feel. You're actually gonna feel that bait hit bottom, and very crucial to be on bottom, especially when water temps are very cold. A lot of these fish are just picking it up right off the bottom of the lake. All right, so I get asked a lot of questions on what's your favorite rip and wrap, stuff like that. I fish more number 6s than anything. Anything in a chrome color is great on a lot of these sunny days. If it is a little bit cloudier day, heavy overcast, stuff like that, your fire tigers or UV colors are absolutely great choices. On the bright sun, I like the chrome. It just has that nice reflection in the sun. And like on those cloudy days, I'll go to that UV color, a fire tiger, something bright and obnoxious like that. what you're putting on your reel is also important. You don't want to be rigging up with mono. I don't do a lot of fluorocarbon either. I like a straight 10-pound braid, and then I'll tie in like a 2 to a 4 foot leader of like 10 or 12 pound fluorocarbon. You don't have to go super light. This is not like an extreme finesse approach. Like I said, this is a reaction bite, and you want to have the power to lift some of these big Green Bay walleyes.
Dude, I was joking when I said I could bring my boat out here, but that is definitely smaller.
You have one?
No. I wanted him to think I did. Staring at me. No, I think it hit bottom, and first time.
Dude, it hits bottom like
100
100 times in a cast. You're ripping right.
People are gonna complain about every video though. Oh, too many fish catches, too much information, too much talking.
Well, when I used to make YouTube videos, it was all like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna film this, and here's the point, I'm gonna showcase how to do this. But I want to do so many more videos now that it's kind of like, they can't all be that way, you know?
True that.
Oh, look at that. Got myself
You got one.
this little spool of braid there.
Save it, we'll use it.
If you ever need 6 feet of braid, just let me know.
Oh, I do, save it.
Save it. It's impressive, dude.
Took the old hammer and whacked it in the head. Did you?
Oh, boys.
We got one, finally.
Don't even film it, it's not even worth it.
What in the world was that?
Do you have a bite too?
Oh, it's kind of weird.
A very small one. We'll turn the camera on when we get something real. How about that?
A couple of dudes talking. Yeah, you might want to pull that one in the boat. Oh my gosh. That is just a little guy.
Don't roll it here.
Just a little guy.
What we could do is just let him swim back out.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I could be like, oh, get that one.
Right. Sit here for a little while. Oh, hooked up.
We get something bigger.
That's not what we're going for.
Talk to me.
All right, guys, hooked up. We just went on a 2-mile jaunt. Found some warmer water. Marked some creatures on the side of me here. Yeah, it's good fish. Want to net it? How'd you get? All right, guys, water is starting to warm up. This afternoon we expect it to warm up, hopefully to a few more degrees than what it is now. Get some bigger fish. Here's what I caught this guy on. Yep. Look at that thing. Look at that. Perfect.
Remember that time you caught that whitefish and we closed out a show on that?
Yeah. Look at this nice pre-spawn female walleye.
Someone commented like, hey, like something like, I'm not sure, but I think that last silvery fish was a whitefish and not a walleye.
Oh my gosh.
I was so cold, dude, I thought it was a walleye.
Let's do it like we did when we first started.
The jigging wrap ones?
Yeah, just roll it.
Let me roll it, yeah.
Dude, look at that. Yeah, we need to do something, Tom. That is a pontoon boat full of girls. Those are all girls.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm done fishing here.
All right, let's get out of here. Wrap
All right.
this up.
Let's get out of here.